Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Dr. Shane Dixon, and we are here once again with one of our great ALA teachers. I'd like to introduce you all to Denita Skousen.
Hi.
So let's go ahead and begin. Denita, thank you for being willing to be in the hot seat with me today. One of the reasons we have chosen Denita is she is such an advocate for parents and parent involvement with students. She's also a really great friend to students in important and significant academic ways. So again, Denita, thank you for being with us. Let's go ahead and just ask a few questions about you before we begin. Denita, tell me about your history, especially with academics and teaching.
So I come from a family of teachers. I have 5 brothers and 1 sister. Out of the 5 brothers, 4 are teachers and their spouses are teachers. And then my sister is a teacher as well. So mom and dad were teachers as well. So that's the environment I grew up in. And so I knew I wanted to be a teacher since I was in high school.
Gotcha. So teaching runs in the family.
Yes.
It's in your blood.
Yes.
Awesome. Very good. So speaking of that, one of the questions that I love to ask teachers is, what is it that makes a good teacher? What's the magic of teaching in your opinion?
I'm still learning. I feel like I have learned every year that I teach. You can't be the same person you were a year ago. You have to be willing to change and be willing to find what you need to do to reach those students, because none of your students are the same.
Right.
So this past summer we were asked to read a book, and it really changed my way of thinking and what I could do different in my classroom. So I thought, well, what if I just asked a question to my students every single day to try to get to know them? So that was one of the things I changed this year, was just asking a simple question. And they're just different, like, what color? What's your favorite color? What are you excited for this weekend? What's your favorite hobby? And I have learned so much about my students, and it's been so cool to see them even after the weekends is the funnest part, because they come back and they share all of their accomplishments. I mean, I have kids that take taekwondo. They are in dance competitions, not even relevant to the schools. And I mean, some do like weightlifting, like powerlifting. We have kids that do hockey. I mean, we just have some really amazing students that they don't get to share because it's not like a school sport, but yet
Right.
It's been fun to be able to hear about their accomplishments outside of school.
Well, and I can attest that absolutely Miss Skousen knows her students, and perhaps better than any other teacher that I know here on campus, or at least equal to some of our very fine teachers. So I love that. And it kind of dovetails into my next question is, what is it that makes a difference for students when it comes to an education? And I think we've already discussed that, which is this idea of paying attention to them and you basically figuring out, oh my gosh, I'm just going to ask them a question a day. And so let me just ask you that question again. What else do you think makes a difference when it comes to a student's education?
I think being willing to understand that they have hard days too, just like we do as adults. Um, we're not perfect as adults, and I would hate for you, right, as being one of my admin, to have that expectation that I have to be perfect. And we need to have the same type of attitude with our students. And so to be willing to show grace and, hey, I understand things are hard sometimes. And if they are, just communicate with me. Like, send me an email. Hey, Miss Skousen, I wasn't able to get my homework done. Can I turn it in? Absolutely, you can. And I've noticed a difference being able to do that. They are more willing to come talk to me because they know that I'm willing to listen to them.
Oh, for sure. Teaching is an imperfect art, right?
Yes.
And so, like, of course, being a student is also an imperfect art, and we're all learning. I always tell teachers, like, look, if you are good, like you're hitting a home run in the classroom 4 out of 5 days, you are par excellence. You are one of the best teachers on the planet. And that's probably true for students too. They have bad days,
Yes.
they have bad moments, they can have a bad test.
Yes.
And recognizing those moments as moments instead of labeling them eternally, oh, well, this is a bad student, I think makes a huge difference.
I don't think there are bad students, in my opinion.
Well, that's precisely the point, right? instead of thinking them as bad students, they've had a bad moment.
Yep.
Right? So what do you wish parents knew about ALA and ALA culture?
Um, we really do care about your kids, 100%. I worry about them. I mean, I have students that have been out for a week, and I worry about them. I worry about the kids that have actually left ALA for different reasons because I do care about them, and I, miss being involved with them and seeing how they're doing. But education is important, and we want to be able to help build them so that they can go on and, you know, be productive in life. But we also do care about them, and we do care about their education. We want them to be successful. And an A is not successful. A grade isn't gonna label if they are good or not. I think parents sometimes think an A is like, oh, that's measuring their students. I had to learn that as a parent. My daughters are not the same, and they learn differently. And I think sometimes we, as me as a parent, I push, 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 instead of sitting back and realizing, hey, they're doing the best that they can right now, and that's okay. And we're proud of them for doing that.
You know, I'm just trying to understand the magic that I see in your classroom already. And one of the things that Miss Skousen is known for is being a turnaround artist, taking that tough kid, or maybe the kid that isn't tough, but maybe had a tough time and wasn't particularly good at math before. And suddenly, lo and behold, there's this huge, huge shift. And so we definitely talk about you, whether you know it or not, as a turnaround artist. And I think that speaks to the idea that you don't think of them as bad. You think of them as an opportunity for growth. And I just kind of love that. So what do you think parents could do to get involved in their students' education even more?
For me, it's being able to talk to them every night. Like, hey, what'd you do in school today? What was your homework? Math, we have homework every single night. And I think if kids had that one-on-one conversation with their parents, like, and ask, well, can I see your homework? Let me see what you did today. And just checking on them every once in a while, I think would help, because then they know I'm holding them accountable, but they also know now parents are holding them accountable. And when we can join forces together, like, it's a night and day difference. When parents are supporting me in the classroom, it's a win-win, 100%. And I have amazing parents. Like, my parents support me. They communicate well with me. If they have an issue, they email me, and we're able to resolve it real quickly. So I think that's the biggest, is just being on the team of the teachers and supporting them in what we're doing in our classroom.
And to add to that, basically what Denita does really well, I think, Miss Skousen, is that she's able to connect with parents too. So parents, we really appreciate the relationships you're forming with the teachers, and I really appreciate you reaching out to parents. And in my super secret private message that I sent last week, I wanted you guys to know that very core idea, which I won't share just in case some students are watching, but that email or that letter that we're sending to you, just know that idea came entirely from this woman sitting with me today. And I really appreciate the efforts that you're making to connect parents to this school. So I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
What do you think you could tell teachers to look for when it comes to a struggling student? So now let's kind of turn the focus to giving some advice to the teachers. What do you think you could do? What are the signs that say, oh, I need to reach out to this student in particular?
One thing that I did when I saw, like, kids just stop turning in homework or stopped caring, or whatever it was, I made a phone call home. When you can understand what's going on at home, we don't know. There's so many students that come from all different backgrounds, and how many students do we have enrolled here? Over 1,000, right? So you have 1,000 different homes, and none of them are the same. I know mine's not the same, and so I think of their home life or whatever's going on. It may not be good at the time, and they're at school, and it's taking them everything just to be here. And I think it's noticing that and just having some compassion for it that, hey, it's okay. I'm glad that you're here. Um, and realizing that they're great students and helping them one on one. If that means, hey, what can I do to help you? I want you to be successful. So, can you come to tutoring on this day by yourself? And you sit one on one with them. So, it is more, it's not more work, I guess. Maybe some think it is. But what I realized is when I sit down and I'm able to work with those kids one on one, there's no behavior problems anymore. Like they go away. And it's just a little act. Sometimes it's just going and supporting them at their games or, at their whatever they're doing or extracurricular they're in. When students see that you were there and you're cheering them on and, hey, you did so awesome. I'm so proud of you. Just little tiny positive things can go a long way.
I love that. You know, to end things, I just want to reiterate how powerful the message you had, which is you just add something every year. This additive quality of teaching is, I think, actually one of the secrets to good teaching is that we're never done.
No.
We're always going to try to improve. And I love that. And hopefully teachers out there can improve just a little bit by paying attention to some of the things that you do to make this culture awesome. Just as a small final note, you guys should know that the very first day I come here as a director, Denita comes into my office and she hands me a duck. And this is just one of those really fun moments that I wanted you to explain. What's up with the ducks?
First of all, thank you parents who are donating and sending them in. I don't think you realize how much of an impact it is making on our school and our kids. This summer, my niece, who was 19, passed away unexpectedly. She was 19. She was amazing. She actually was doing college and high school at the same time. She was the president at her little small college that they had in their small town. So she did both, and she played tennis. She did soccer. She was just phenomenal. So when she passed away, we found out through just people that she handed out ducks, and on the bottom of them, it said, "You are amazing." So when she was in Disney World with my sister, they handed out 100 ducks to people in Disney World, and it just caught on. And she just was like, that was so cool to see their faces and their expression over something as small as a duck that said, "You're amazing." And I just thought I want to carry that tradition on and kind of keep her memory alive and, here at AOA. And the students have been awesome. My little 7th graders, we do it second hour is leadership, and we do it every Wednesday. And they're awesome. They're being true leaders because they have to go into all the classes and present it. And some of them are seniors, so it's a little intimidating for them. And they do such a good job. And I've heard great things like, students saying how much they love it and appreciate it. So I'm hoping that we can get them all distributed to everybody in the school. That's my hope. And so I appreciate parents that are donating them because I couldn't do this without your help. So thank you.
Well, parents, you should note that we are starting a Patriot Parent Teacher organization where you are here to support the teachers here, and we're so grateful for that. Please look in the email that I am sending with this video, and you can see the address there so that you can participate. You should know that we will be having our first meeting for parents to come and support teachers like Denita this Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. right here. We'll be in the auditorium. Denita, I can't think of a more perfect way to end than by saying sometimes all it takes is sharing a duck. Thanks.
Thank you.